Next driver we have is Tyler Tomassi, who races with Reaume brothers in the Truck Series. Thanks for joining the show, Tyler.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Before we get into the on-track action, you make your Truck Series debut last year with Reaume brothers at IRP. I know it was just one race with them last year, but how is it going back to them this year for select starts?
Yeah, so last year I was very fortunate to be able to make a one-off start with them. I was honestly really positive. And this year I was really excited to head back there just because, even though I made one start with them, I had a really long relationship with them, was trying to make something happen with them for years. So to come back and run, well, it was supposed to be two and ended up being three starts because we ended up adding Wilkesboro. It was really fun to go back to them with people I'm comfortable with and, work with Josh and all those great people over there. And it was honestly a really good experience and hoping to do more with them later this year.
Awesome. Thank you for touching on that. You were in the Xfinity car for Martinsville with MBM. Qualifying, unfortunately, didn't go as planned. But after the practice, any differences from the truck to the Xfinity car?
The Xfinity car it feels, there's less downforce. Like the trucks, it feels like you can drive them so hard. It feels like a stock. If a stock car was an F1 car, that's what it would be the truck with how gripped up they are. The Xfinity car, you have to be a lot more easier in and easier out. You can get there's a lot more movement. The car just moves around more. I personally like driving them a lot more, um, because I just like driving something that has horsepower and a lot of movement rather than just smash the gas. But they're honestly both pretty fun to drive. But the biggest thing I would say is just aero. Just the trucks are more aero dependent.
Okay, cool. Appreciate you touching on that. Was interested. Your first truck start this year was at Bristol. This was the first time you were returning to a track at the Truck Series level for your second time. You come out with a P21 finish after starting 31st. Did that boost your confidence?
Yeah, definitely, especially since we had no practice or qualifying. I think that it showed that I could race. We had really good speed. We unfortunately had a bit of a hiccup on pit road. I slid a little too far and then put us behind, so put us a lap down on pit road after we just got the wave around. I think we had about like 18th place speed, a little better. I definitely top 20, but yeah, I think my prior experience there helped me with kind of without us having practice and just a green racetrack. I feel like it actually gave me an advantage because I kind of knew what I was doing already. It just really raised my confidence because it just kind of showed that I could race and keep up with some good cars. And I wasn't just riding around in the back by myself, right? Like we were racing the whole race, so it definitely helped a lot with that and learned a lot.
Gotcha. Sounds like it'll set you up for the rest of this year. Wasn't the
Yeah, no,
grandstand
definitely.
cool? Awesome. Wasn't the grandstands at North Wilkesboro? That was one of the coolest tracks I've ever been to. How was that experience and the track?
Well, the experience was cool until we had a lot of issues, but the track it's just a good short track. It's really interesting how the line is in one and two. Like the line you run there is just really unique. Um, three and four is completely different than one and two. It's really was fun. It was hot, really hot, really slick, and yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we had some alternator issues where the alternator switch got popped down and we died on the backstretch, which put us, I think, 12 laps down, 40 laps in. So, kind of sucked a little to just kind of ride around with nobody to really race. And then we blew a right front. But before then, I mean, the track's really fun. I honestly think we probably would have gotten another top 25 if that didn't happen. It definitely suit my style.
Awesome. Yeah, going there for the first time, seeing like the downhill going from 1 to 2, and then uphill from 3 to 4 was really cool. I could only would imagine what it was from the truck cockpit.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, one and two is absolutely nothing like three and four, and it's a really unique racetrack. I don't think there's any. I mean, there's tracks with lines that are different, but one and two is kind of like RIP, and then three and four is just like I guess any other short track. So it was unique.
Awesome. Thanks for breaking that down. Diving into Nashville, qualifying gets rained out, but they have the practice session. How is the truck feeling going into the green flag?
Yeah. So honestly, I was happy that qualifying got canceled because we went from having 25 minutes to 50 minutes of practice. So and we kind of started probably better than what we would have qualified anyway. So I wasn't really upset about that. Practice, I mean, we honestly started off not very good at all. We were way too tight, and we were honestly a little out to lunch to start with. But we honestly used that entire 50-minute practice and we changed so much. I mean, by the end of it, it was a completely different race car. I went from plowing tight to, I was able. It was weird. I mean, we made the car, we freed it up so much that if you hit the gas, it actually made it turn. So which helped us. So by the time practice was over, I was really confident going into the race. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks for those details. You finished stage one, 29th, 30th in the second stage. You come out with a P29 finish. How are we going to use the experience from Nashville for the next time that you'll be back in the truck seat?
Well, yeah. I mean, even though we were in the back most of the race, I honestly learned a lot. Me and the O2, 63, 2, and the 5 and I were basically dogfighting it the entire race. I don't think I really that was the hardest I've ever fought for 29th. Um, but I learned a lot. Just honestly, the biggest thing I learned was how to manipulate the air, right? Like when I'm behind somebody, how to make my car from not getting tight, how to run a little bit of a different line, even though it might not be the fastest way around, how to side draft, how to hold guys off, how to, play those games where you give the guy behind you dirty air and take his line away. I learned a lot, even though maybe it wasn't for up front. I mean, like I said, we were probably racing harder than the leaders there at one point for 29th. So, I mean, the biggest thing I took away from it is just learning the air, but also how to give feedback. Because by myself, my car was super loose, right? The truck was super loose, and I was like, we need to tighten it up. And my crew chief's like, no, you need to loosen it up. And I thought he was crazy, but when you get behind someone, suddenly you go from being loose to tight. So it's just kind of unique how you need to adjust based on your positioning on track and all that stuff.
Awesome. I appreciate you going through those aerodynamic aspects. Last
Yep.
question. You have some news about the next time that you'll be back in the truck seat?
Yeah, so I'm going to be racing Pocono here in I think about 17 or 16 days on June 20th with MBM. We're going to be rolling out a truck for that race. So going to be the biggest track that I've ever been to, but I think, Nashville definitely helped. I think Pocono will suit my style in terms of kind of short tracky corners, right? But the straightaways will kind of play into that drafting stuff I learned. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Excited to go 180 miles an hour for the first time and, go to another cool new place.
Yeah. Excited to see you out the track. Pocono's been a track that I've been going to since I was a young kid. So we'll be out there for the Truck Series race. Can't wait to see you. And thanks so much for joining the show.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Talk to you soon.